Before we begin, just obviously little brief disclaimers. We're a regulated environment, so we got to throw these up here. We don't provide any type of tax advice. We do not. We're not attorneys. We're not accounting advice. Majority or decent amount of this information was helped prepared by the Allianz Insurance Company. We're not affiliated. We're not representatives of them, but we do have to give them credit for some of the slides that are here. A little bit about CIG, what we do. For those of you who don't know, although looking around the room, I think most of you do, we're a wealth management and financial planning firm. We were based, started actually in 1997 by Osman Minkara, and we've since grown to the stature that we are now. We focus in on wealth management and financial planning for our clients. And quite frankly, what does that mean to you? That means we look out at all facets of your management. So we're going to be today talking a little bit about Social Security, which is one piece, but again, that's one piece to the overall puzzle to say how can we make sure that we grow, protect, and then ultimately look to transfer or your wealth, and how do we continue to move from there. And finally, we're going to wrap up talking about spouse and survivor benefits. Now, spousal benefits, a couple different options, and they actually play it out somewhat nice. So to qualify for spousal benefits, you need to be married at least a year. Okay, and non-qualified spouses at full retirement age or later, what you'll receive is in essence 50% of what your spousal benefit would receive. So if your spouse is receiving $2,000 a month, you would receive $1,000 a month based off of your spousal benefits, assuming you stayed at home or you don't have any earnings to qualify for a Social Security standpoint. So you can collect based off of what your spouse collected on, or what they've in essence earned over that time frame. Now, what if we have a spouse or both spouses worked? Okay, nice thing the IRS does is they said, hey, pick the better of the two. And the better of the two being either A, you could take 50% of your spousal benefits, or if your benefits alone were higher than your spousal benefits, you can take yours. And again, based off of full retirement age. So the whole 62, the haircut, all that stuff applies. They just allow you to take the higher of the two amounts. Okay, which is a nice little perk from a spousal benefit standpoint. Advanced options. Now, some of these advanced options, this is where there's actually, it was a budget ruling right here in December of 15 that was actually just passed probably 3-4 weeks ago. And some of these advanced options are starting to go away. And really what they're doing is that these are the different loopholes that have been developed within the Social Security system. So you may have heard the terms of, well, I'm going to file and suspend my benefits, and I'm going to start collecting my spousal benefits now, suspend mine so that I can get a higher benefit later. Those are all starting to phase out in essence, because from a cost-cutting standpoint, what happened is when they initially created the Social Security system, no different than anybody that's, if you use the analogy of, competitive auto racing, they have a rule book, and then you're going to try and find the ways to how do we benefit from that rule book, and you play in the gray a little bit. So people are looking at it and says, well, how do I try to increase some of these benefits? And these are some of these advanced options, and we can talk about that at a later date. Do they make sense in your situation? So just for an example, there's the option that you can do to say, I'm going to collect my benefits early at age 62, and in the first 12 months, at the end of the 12 months, before the end of the 12 months, you can say, write a check back to the Social Security system for the amount of money that they received, and it's as if you never collected it. And then you can collect it based off of your age 63 benefits, or suspend it yet again. So again, so people look at it and you're kind of always looking around like, why would you want to do this? And the reason is sometimes you can get a little bit better, $50 a month, $100 a month benefit. A lot of times you got to go through a lot of hoops to do this. But for some it's worth it, for some it's not. What happens if there's widower's benefits associated with it, that you look at it if, God forbid, somebody passes away, that you can say you can actually start collecting Social Security benefits based off of your deceased spouse's earnings at age 60. So they give you an extra little 2 years to pick up some of that benefit. And then also they say at age 62, once you receive that full retirement age, if you want, you can switch it over and go to your benefits if your benefit's higher. So again, they look at it and they say, give me the best of, in essence, of both worlds. One of the, actually I was going to right now, one of the slides we looked at and says, okay, what if there's the divorce? Okay, so in a divorce situation, if you're married for at least 10 years, okay, you can still receive benefits at the age of 62 based off of your ex-spouse's Social Security benefits. Okay. Now, a couple caveats to this. A, you cannot be remarried. And B, you have to make sure that, actually, there's no B. From that standpoint, for your spouse, it doesn't necessarily matter if they remarry in the same standpoint. So again, you collect the best of the two. If you want to collect it off of yours, you still can, or depending on your ex-spouse, you can go ahead and collect it off of their benefits from there. With that being said, we're going to kind of conclude the rest of the presentation. What I recommend for everybody here, if there's additional questions, let's sit down and talk. As I said, the best thing and the first thing I'm going to tell you to do, if we're going to talk specifically Social Security, go onto the Social Security website, print out your most recent benefits, make sure to either fax those to me or get them to me beforehand so I can run some analysis. So we're not playing what if, we're going to play specific to your situation, and if we can have these conversations to see what makes the most sense. Again, as we do our planning for our clients, this is something that we do kind of as an integral part of what makes sense, how does it make sense, and are we going to continue to work, or are we going to take it early from there?
Securities offered through CIG Securities, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services available through CIG Asset Management, a SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance services provided by CIG Risk Management. All are wholly owned subsidiaries of CIG Capital Advisors.